Peace and blessings, and keep up the lessons. This is the third one coming, part 3, on this reaction video to this individual, as you will see. Are you ready? Let's get in it. Ready? Let's go. Yes, I'm here again for the third part, and I want to just apologize for taking a little bit too long getting into my tangent on the other video. I'm going to let you listen to more of what she's saying and try to get on points as much as I can. But one thing I want to say is that, the main thing is also to vouch for my fellow Muslim brothers as well, not just the faith of Islam, but not all Muslims have been like this Muslim. And whoever this individual is, as I will come to find doing my own research and going behind what she's saying and the so-called research that this person that she put in the video named Cerebral did, and the likes of any of them, I have to do my research for me as a Muslim, because he's supposed to be my Muslim brother. But if he's wayward, I want to check him. Know that. I will check any Muslim as well as myself. First, I check myself, and if a Muslim is exposing himself and it's out there, then I will check him too. But this person, I didn't hear anything about ever hearing about him. So this is something I have to look into myself. So I will do that. But also don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. And let's get in. Ready? Let's listen to what she's saying.
Right here is the bulk of our issue, Bill. So this is the channel. Her channel is Cerebral. I'm going to share the video now to get us popping. Please, if you're coming in again, hit the like button. Let this video go out too, so other people could see it too. I think I'm going to sit here and have this conversation. I've missed you guys so much. I was sitting here listening to everyone. I saw the time going and I'm like, fuck, okay. Let me start a whole discussion so we can have this talk. I didn't want to get off because it was so compelling and exciting. We have Recoya, we have Miss Speedy, we have Jude, we have quite a few people. Amina, we have Miss G.
Let me fast forward up a little bit because he's giving shout outs.
And then there are some people that disagree with that. But as far as I'm concerned, I mean, even here, like I mentioned it earlier, when you go into these stores or into these businesses, they look at you with such disdain. They look at you with such disdain. And it's like, how can we continue to move forward with people that treat us that way?
Okay, I want to talk about that real quick. Is that, first of all, you don't even know why they're looking at you that way. Did you ask them? Did you say, hey, I don't know, but you seem to look at me like, is something wrong with me? If you up front and you keeps it real, then do that. Go and question the people and see. Like with me, I'll smile at them and I'll give them salams, and then they change because of the salam. The salam that would be in Jannah. The peace and blessings be upon you. Yeah. That is like a universal statement between the Muslims all over the world, and it changes their heart. So they know that we're connected by Islam. That's the brotherhood there. But as far as brotherhood and sisterhood as in the human race, that's too far-fetched. We've gone past that. Racism has proven that. It's way past that. Brothers and sisters in the human race. So how do you expect, and why should you expect that they're going to give you that respect? Or that they're going to look at you like you're their brother and we're together in this and all of that. Even as me, I'm from two worlds of nationalities, backgrounds. My mother's side is the Afro-Hispanic, Afro-Latin, Afro-Latino, Latina background, right? From Honduras, this is my mother's country. And my father's African-American background. So I'm from those two worlds, those two nationalities as far as within the African diaspora. Put it that way. Let's get that correct. Because they all descended, most of them from Africa. Okay. Predominantly DNA from Africa. Okay. I learned that when I checked my DNA out and did my DNA results. Or got my results back. But the point I'm saying, this is what they're trying to say, that they're getting a bad type of feel from the people, but you don't even know why. And it may not even be because you're a different race. It may be because they don't know who you are. You know what I mean? So you get to know the person. I know some stores that people walk in, and that's a stereotypical statement that you can make in the way you're bringing it. I know people that I've walked into stores and they got to be really close knit to the point, even unfortunately, the drug dealers had got a relationship with some of them store guys, and then them store guys was helping them sell their drugs. What's that? So that's okay. I don't see you mention that. I don't see you mention any about one big buck goes in the store, whatever his name is, or Snoopy goes in the store, from the block, and then he's like, "Yo, what up, Ahmed?" And then Ahmed says, "Yo, my boy, yo, my man, yo, homie." And then behind the back somewhere, somebody's doing a transaction. So what's that? So that's a stereotypical statement right there. It's not. It has no foundation of it being what actually takes place all the time, and that is something that's substantial to the likes of where we have a dissension, because that's what I see they're doing. You're feeding into the dissension. You're not trying to bring about a closure of that dissension and getting rid of it and trying to bring us together, or saying, why should we deal with these people? It's always going to be a struggle, even with our own people. They have things that they've been blinded and messed with from the times of colonialization in the continent. And you can't just go in there and think they're going to accept you. You got to be accepted. You got to make your way in. You got to adapt to their ways and to the society there. Especially if you're not Muslim and you're going into a Muslim country, predominant like West Africa. Come on, man. And you talking about Tanzania? You want to talk about the history? Well, we'll let you get into the history, because we know you are in this video. I listened.
On the continent, they're doing it in a big way, because these people are taking, our people, putting them into their homes, taking away their passports, taking away their freedom, beating them, burning them, treating them, killing them, locking them in. And there was not a story not too long ago where that Speedy was saying the young girl jumped out of a window. They were beating her, raping her, doing all kinds of things.
Yeah, she's just running a recap on what Dynast Amir did in his video, and they spoke on this, and he had a panel, and they spoke on that woman. I don't know if she was Muslim or what have you. It doesn't matter. But she was African. She was black. That's the narrative there, right? So now we want to create the dissension and keep that dissension going, and saying with the Arab Muslims or the Arab Africans. Now the narrative is Arab Africans. Now that what she's coming with this video, and that they are all Muslim, right? And they do this harm, and they're evil people, and this and all like that. I haven't seen any videos that they give any good, positive talks about what was established in Africa, like the African empires that were built, that were Muslim background, and the things that they did, and the positive things that they did. No, all of the negatives and the mistakes that they made, those are who did it. Okay, and then you take them, the ones who did it, like Tippu, and try to put him in the same basket, or put everybody in his basket, and biasly stereotype every African Muslim or African Arab Muslim, if you want to say, for this video particular, in the same basket. They do the same thing. They all the same. And then our Arab brothers that are Persian mixed, or African Persian as well, Asian and African mixed, like she said, the Turks mixed with African Muslims at some point. And then you got the ones that are in like Saudi and in the Khalij area, in the Khaliji countries, the Gulf countries, right? Oman, that they bring up later. But this is stereotypical stuff, man, and it's not good. It's not good, because I'm seeing, and like I said, we're Muslims, we're not stupid. We see and we know, the ones who are awake, what y'all trying to do, because this is not the first time she has done this video like this. Like I said, I was sitting in one. They chip away as much as they can because they're disbelievers. That's number one. They're not even believers in any faith of the main faiths that we know from the Abrahamic background, patriot, the patriarch of Tawheed, of monotheism. They are not into that. So herself included, she could speak for herself, and she has already in her videos. Does the recordings? You can go back and listen. She's atheist when it comes to those, but she believes in her practices of her spirituality. So that's her choice. So, but don't come and try to chip away and be covert in your actions and trying to maneuver, and then you want to talk on a panel and have people speak on your panel and bring their perspective so you can get more people's mind. Yeah, they're all like that. Like I said, this kind of stuff helps to create war. It does. And we got to be careful, people. The Muslims need to watch these people and be careful with them, especially those are in the continent and what they're talking and doing and pushing their form of Pan-Africanism. I'm not going to talk about everybody because, like I said, all different types of, and that's why I try to stay away from all of that, because there's too much going on. I stay away from the sects of even in Islam, let alone I'm going to stay away, not going to stay away from these groups that are not even Muslim based groups. So I stay away from that, and I always advise my brothers and my Muslim brothers and sisters to stay away from it, because you're going to bring fitna to you more than what you already get just because you're Muslim and African and black person in this times of racist and a racist era of the world, since the white man or the European man brought race into the open as being something to be focused on, and that now they think one is better than the other. They were the main ones who really perpetuated it, really amplified racism. We know that. But all these other people did it, their moves within it. And now you're talking about how racism wasn't even the existence of slavery as its focal point. It was money, it was power. And that's that's also what we spoke about with the European. So it wasn't always a black-white thing. It was money. And that's what this guy, if he did evil, when a person has evil in their heart, they get money or they try to get money, they're going to do evil acts to do it. And that's what you're seeing. If he's so forth, this is what is truth and proven. I will get my own evidence and find that this is what this person did. Still alleged to me, because they saying what they say. I need the research behind them. So anyway, let me let it go further a little bit.
To her that she didn't even want to live anymore. So this is it, and this is the relationship that we have, and this is not something that's happening.
That's the relationship you have. This we stuff has got to stop too, and that's the thing they try to put us all in the same and say we think that that's how the Arabs are. We all believe and we think that this is what it is. Stop trying to play that game. The we is you and your people that follow behind with you, what your mindset about these things are, and your interpretation of it, and your perspective of it. Okay, it's not mine, and you can't take away what I am. Tell me I'm not black or African American or whatever. You can't take that away from me because my mindset ain't what yours is, and that's another problem. That's got to be stopped too.
Happening on a one-off. There are systems in place in Arab nations to justify how they deal with it.
Okay, where's the proof of these systems? That's another thing I want to ask. Where's the proof of these systems? Where's the documented proof to say that the Arab is better than the non-Arab and African slaves or whoever, they're not, excuse me, let's not say African slaves first, because it first has to be stated that Africans that come into our country to work for us becomes our slave. I want to see the documentation of the process from the administrations of these countries. You bring PDF files or what have you, and you show us this and let us read it ourselves. And, even allow people to get emailed this information. Then we can talk. Then we can really, really go and say, okay, yeah, and then we have to do what we're going to do about it. That's another thing. That's the problem. All this talk, but what you doing about it? You know what I'm saying? And not talking about protests, and of course boycott is better, but go to these people first and warn them, and then start boycotting them if they are doing these things. Meaning the people who are going to their countries got to stop going to the countries. Africans got to stop going to these countries if these countries have these systems in place. But you're stating that without any evidence. And I need evidence as well as the people. So state what you want to state. I'm not going to be blind following. The rest of you people who watch this woman and who's with her want to blind follow without getting evidence and I mean clear evidence. I know daggone video from another YouTuber. That's not evidence for me. And they cutting and pasting videos or pictures in to try to give some sort of symbolism to what they're talking about. That's what Cerebral did. I didn't see no real documentation of what was going on. Writing with the pen is greater than a lot of the stuff that we see visually. Because why? Because documentation is no joke. That thing deals with legislated judicial system stuff, where people are going under the law, or they're in the law, and the law is coming upon them, so this stuff gets documented. They have to document it so that it can be brought out when there has to be some sort of actions taken against people doing these types of things. And where is the these different organizations that come against human rights being violated, going into those countries and bringing them out and getting that information to us that you should be showing on your video? Evidence. We need evidence. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to cut this video short, and I will be doing a fourth video and deal with the rest as much as possible. I might be doing a series on this, because I really got to get on this. I'm tired of hearing the rhetoric, and that is not going checked. And I gave her plenty of patience. I was patient with her. I didn't even expose. I didn't even show nothing, no visual, nothing like I'm doing now. But now it's time, girl. Sorry. You gotta be held accountable for this. And I'm not your judge and jury. You don't have to be afraid of me. I'm not doing nothing to you, but I'm bringing the truth out against you and your statements and what you're making. And if you want to bring something back at me, by all means, let's do it. I'm ready, because I'm tired of the people getting away with the stuff. Even Dynast Mamir, he's the first even before her. And I did a reaction video to him. And any one of you going to do it, no, Brother Talib is going to see you on that. Know that. And there's nothing for you to be afraid of me. Boom, boom, bang. I ain't nothing like that. This ain't, no type of thing like that. This is just dealing with what's facts and what's not facts, and what's truth and what's clear and what's clarity, and evidence and proofs and evidences, and not bringing bull crap out, and not being biased, and not trying to be covert in your bias maneuvers, and not being covert in trying to misguide the people so that you can have people in your corner and you can have other people come to your side. Because you might be a covert war right now in the media, social media. And that's what we see what's been going on. And we're not going to be sitting back and saying, okay, hit us on one side and hit us on the rest. Muslims don't play that. We stand firm on our deen, and we're going to protect our deen. That's number one. And we're going to protect our Muslim brothers that are worthy of it, and our Muslim sisters that are worthy of it. If you can't prove to me that the evils that my brother and my sisters have done with evidences, documented evidence, not just videos and all this other type of stuff, then I can't sit with you with that and say, okay, I agree, and that I have to go to them and deal with them by admonishing them and telling them to fear their Lord, because they're going to be held accountable. They need to check themselves before the rectum. Now, that person who did that he's our ancestor. He's gone, dead and gone. If he made his tawbah, his repentance, alhamdulillah. But if he didn't, he's going to be held accountable. Know that. Muslims, the Muslims that are on the truth of the Quran and Sunnah, we know each and every atom's weight of good. For every atom's weight of good, you shall see it. وَمَن يَحْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. For every atom's weight of evil you shall see it. You shall see it. So any evil you've done as a Muslim and you did not repent and ask Allah to forgive you and turn away from it and make changes away from doing that again ever, then you're going to be held accountable for it on the day of judgment, especially if you died and never made that change. That's what we know. So know that on the last note, peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe, those of you who haven't, and share my videos, get them out, get this out, because it needs to be clarity. We need to have clarity before we can move on to have unity and make changes on the continent and as a community of the diaspora and Africans, whether we have whatever faith and belief or non-belief. We have to get on the same page when it comes to that we're not against each other on a level of because we have a different faith or what have you, or that we pretty much have knowledge of what happened in the past, and that what happened in the past is going to help us to be better. We need to be on that and not make the same mistakes. But why are we going back and doing the same things that they did in the past? Or why are we, especially when it comes to faith, especially when it comes to that spiritual part of our life? That's what we're made of, a spirit and a physical body. So if we don't connect with that correctly, then we're going to have problems. And if we don't connect with being on the same page when it comes to which way and path we're going to take to make the changes, that we don't make the same mistakes in the past, not keep talking about it. Once we have brought it out the first time, that's pretty much there. We know we have works to do. We have that documented. We have that in videos. We have it recorded of what was done. We did our research. We know. Move on now. Build. Stop the foolishness. Stop the crayon Crayola warfare. Like little children sitting back, this crayon is better than that crayon color. We need to stop. Or to say that this crayon really truly the same color as this crayon? Because they don't show that they don't match or something. Something that I'm missing because I'm not like you, then I'm not black. Or I'm not white because I don't have the lineage of a white person, or the Asian, I don't speak Mandarin. Or I'm Hindu, I don't speak Hindu, because I'm not Indian for that reason. Or I'm not Arab because I don't speak Arabic. Or I speak Arabic, that makes me Arab. Come on. We got to realize what it is that we got to focus on humanity. Because that's what the problems are with humanity. They lie with us, whether we whatever color. Peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons.